You know what you just...
She had the wind in her face already. I'm like, oh, she got it. And I look back at him like it's gonna be right over here. It's right there.
Oh my god.
I'll come up here, guys.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
We got a deer.
Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Today I'm going to be telling you guys a story about how I shot a 160-inch 18-point buck that I had nicknamed Lightning. So it all started in the winter of 2023. We had pictures of some bucks on camera, but then we got one picture of a buck. It was kind of late in the season, after muzzleloader, I think, and he came in and he had a big spot on his stomach, and he was a really wide rack but skinny deer and had a bunch of points, but they kind of were broken off. And we knew that we had that buck just in the winter of 2023. So that winter goes by, and fast forward to early August 2024. And we had a picture of this deer show up, and it was a huge, crazy deer. He had points going off everywhere. We also had two other bucks on camera, one that we had nicknamed Beamer and the other one that we had nicknamed the Clubfoot 9. And them bucks were consistently coming into the food plot together in early August. So we had those three bucks on camera. The Clubfoot 9 got his nickname because he had a big club on his back right foot, and I don't know if that's because he got hit by a car when he was young or what that was from. Beamer got his nickname because he had a third main beam coming off the right side. And then I gave the nickname Lightning to the buck that I had ended up shooting later in the year. And I gave him this nickname because he had all them tines and all them points, and I thought tines was too basic. So I started thinking back to one of my favorite movies growing up as a kid, in Cars. In that movie, Sally calls Lightning McQueen Stickers. And so I started thinking, Stickers, he's got all them sticker points. I think Lightning is a good nickname for him, and that's how he got his nickname. So as the summer went on, we continued to get pictures of these deer all through August. As it got closer to September 14th, which was the opening day, these deer kind of started to go nocturnal. We still had all three of our main target bucks around, but they were starting to show up at nighttime, not so much daylighting anymore, but I was still excited just knowing that I had an opportunity at any one of these three deer. So now fast forward to September 14th, which is opening day of bow season. I made it out in the stand, but it was hot that weekend. I think it was like 80 degrees. Opening day, I sat in the stand and I saw a little Bambi. I think it had spots on it still, it was pretty small. That next day, that Sunday, I went out again and sat in the stand. I don't know if I saw anything that night, but again, it was hot that opening weekend, but it was just nice to get back into the stand after a whole summer's worth of waiting. So there was a few weeks that went by there. I tried to get out into the bow stand as much as I could. I think there was one weekend I was on call for work, so I couldn't get out in the stand. Every time I went out, I had seen some sort of deer. It wasn't, any one of our target bucks. I saw a decent buck the one night, and then some does another night, but still hadn't seen any one of our target bucks. So there was one week I was out playing softball, and I came back from the outfield, got into the dugout and checked my phone, and I saw a video from my dad. And this was later in September, getting close to early October. And I opened this video that he sends me, and it's of Lightning, this monster buck that's 21 yards away from him, but his back was facing him, and my dad couldn't get a shot. And so that was kind of the first time that we had seen him in person on the piece of property that we were hunting. And so just seeing that video, I knew I had to get back into the deer stand, and I just got my heart going, and I was so excited to see something like that. So now it is October 5th, it's a Saturday morning, and me and Matthew actually went out crow hunting that day. And it was super hot that day, super windy too. And I remember it was about noon, my dad texted me and he goes, "Hey, you going out hunting tonight?" And I text him back, I'm like, "Yeah, I think I'm gonna try to go out hunting." And he's like, "All right, well, how about I put a portable up and we just sit together, I won't bring my bow, but we'll sit together." And so I thought that was a good idea, and so that's what we had planned on for that night. So now it's the evening of that same day, October 5th, and me and my dad went out, and as we were setting up the portable, there was kind of a wind change and a weather front that came through, and it got cloudy, and the wind switched 180 degrees, and it dropped like 15 degrees. And so it did that right as we started first putting up the stand. And once we kind of got done putting up the stand, the clouds had cleared out, it was sunny again, the wind had died down to like 2 miles an hour, but it stayed cold. That 15-degree temperature change had stayed. After we got in the stand and we were kind of sitting there for a little bit of time went by, and I remember I looked at my dad and I just asked him, I go, "Dad, did you pray today?" And he's like, "No, I didn't pray today." And so I was like, "All right, Dad, well, I'm gonna say a prayer for us." And I always say the same prayer. I always say, "God, just bless me with the opportunity to see a deer today." And 9 out of 10 times I would say I'm blessed with the opportunity of just seeing a deer. And so I said that prayer, and sure enough, it had to have been half hour later. This 7-pointer comes out from the top of the food plot, and he was about 60 yards away, and then kind of walks out of my shooting lane and goes off and just does his thing. So that deer went off, and he's further in the food plot, and I remember looking up at my dad, and he's like, "If a big buck comes in, I'm gonna record it all." You know, he's like trying to get his phone set up. He's like, "It's gonna be awesome." I was like, "All right, Dad, that's sweet. That'd be awesome if we can get that on footage." So that buck came in. It was about 6 o'clock when he came in, and now about a half hour goes by, and about 6:30, a doe comes up from that same exact spot in the food plot, except she walks right at us, comes 15 yards right in front of us, and her head down, eating clover, 15 yards broadside. And I remember my dad saying, "If you want to shoot a doe, go ahead. We need the meat. We got to feed the family. Like, let's go ahead." Like, Dad, we got 3 big bucks that are walking around out here. I don't want to shoot a doe and then be tromping around. Plus, we still got about an hour's worth of sunlight left before the night's over. So I decided to let her go, and she started eating clover and just walked away, and that's all that happened with that. The last minute of legal shooting time that night was 7:19, and I remember at 7:10, we heard 2 bucks fighting, and my dad whispers to me, he goes, "They sound like a heavy set of horns." So I heard that, I heard the bucks fighting, and it was October 5th, so it was a little early for bucks to be fighting, but it was really neat just to be able to experience something like that early. And just hearing that got my heart pounding. So 5 minutes goes by, and the fighting stops, and I remember checking my phone, it was 7:15. And I kind of look up at my dad, and we got 4 minutes left of legal shooting time, these bucks just stopped fighting. And instead of getting ready to record anything, he's sitting there, he's like, and I was like, "All right, well, something's gonna happen." He's not gonna record it, but something's gonna happen here. And so it's 7:15, and these bucks stopped fighting, and it had to have been 20 seconds later. I hear footsteps getting closer and closer. So I stand up and I draw my bow, and all of a sudden I see just the nose of a deer come out in my shooting lane, and I'm sitting there, I'm ready, and the deer takes one more step forward, and I can see it's lightning. And he kind of had his front shoulder blocking his vitals, and so I put it right on the spot. I'm holding it, and he took one step forward and cleared that vital range, and he was head down, eating clover at 15 yards. And as soon as I released that arrow, I just blacked out. So I launched the arrow, and I just kind of got weak knees, and I just blacked out. I'm sitting in the stand like this, and the next thing I feel is my bow going up because my dad's sitting above me. And I remember looking at my phone, and it was 7:17 when I had shot him. And my dad said that when I shot, he heard bone breaking, but it didn't sound like a shoulder, it sounded like a rib shot. And Lightning was holding his front shoulder like this, couldn't use it. His tail was tucked between his butt, and it ran off, and he said he lost which way it went. But kind of when I came back to, I think the moment just hit me, and I started shaking, I started crying. I never had any uncontrollable emotion like that, but it was a lot to take in at that time. So after all that went down, we decided to go back to the garage and call up some friends, and I think we gave it 2 hours before we decided to go back out to the property to start searching for this deer. So we get back out to the property, and we go right to the spot where I had shot him, and we find no blood, don't find my arrow, not even a sign that deer was there that night. And so we went 50 yards in the direction that we had thought that he went, and then we had to stop because we couldn't find anything. So after all that went down, we decided to go back to the garage and call up some friends, and I think we gave it 2 hours before we decided to go back out to the property to start searching for this deer. So we get back out to the property, and we go right to the spot where I had shot him, and we find no blood, don't find my arrow, not even a sign that deer was there that night. And so we went 50 yards in the direction that we had thought that he went, and then we had to stop because we couldn't find anything. So before we kind of stopped for the night, one of my dad's friends noticed that we had a trail camera up. And he goes, "Hey, I see you guys got a trail camera up. Is there any way we can take the SD card out of there and go look at the pictures to see if there's any sign that we can go one way or another?" And we're like, oh yeah, that's a great idea. So we grab the SD card, go back to the garage, and we start looking through the pictures, and we got a picture of that doe that came through, but we never got a picture of Lightning standing in front of where, in front of the camera where I'd shot him, or him running off or anything. So that was just another blow to us that we didn't have anything to go off of. As the night went on, we decided to come up with kind of a game plan for the next morning. And what we came up with was one of my dad's other friends. He knew a guy, his name was Jaron, and he's got a tracking dog. And these dogs are bred just specifically for tracking deer. And we had never used one before, but we didn't have anything to go off of. So we thought, you know what, let's give it a try and see what we can do the next morning. So that night passes, and I didn't get any sleep that night. There's 100 different thoughts and emotions. I mean, I was thinking about, is he dead? Is he alive? Is there an arrow in him and he's running around with it? Is he gonna come back? Is someone else gonna shoot him? I mean, did I mess this all up? Like, there was a lot of different thoughts going through my mind, but that night goes through, and 7:30 on the next morning, October 6th, comes around, and Jaron, he gets there with his dog. They have a YouTube channel called West Central Trackers. Go check them out if you haven't. They got some pretty cool videos. But he gets there at 7:30, and 15 minutes goes by. We talked about what we can and can't do with the dog, all the laws and regulations, that sort of stuff. And we get back out to the property, and it's like 8:05 or so. And I remember we got out there, and my dad kind of taps me on the shoulder. He's like, hey, there's 6 turkey vultures circling. That's a good sign that something died. And so I saw that, and it kind of gave me a little bit of hope, but it still wasn't like, we're gonna find this deer. I didn't have a lot of hope, but just seeing that was, I guess, a good sign and a step in the right direction. So we go right to the spot where I had shot him, and Jaron looks at me, he's like, is there any blood or anything? And I was like, we couldn't find any. So he found a track on the ground of Lightning, and he looked at, Ada is his dog's name, and he just said, track the deer. And the dog smelled it and just took off. And instantly she went to the spot we had stopped the night before, and she was looking around. I'm right by Jaron with my bow. My dad and one of his friends are 30 yards behind us, and Ada is sniffing the ground, and she picks up her head, looks off to the right, and just bolts into this tall grass, this brush, this kind of thick stuff, and just bolts in there. So she's going, and Jaron kind of looks back at me, and he points down at the dog, meaning that she's getting excited, like she can smell the deer or something. And so my heart's just pounding, and it was about 10 yards later, he just goes, dude, he's right there. And I just lost it. I dropped my bow, I started crying. I went over and just soaked up the moment. My dad saw that, he came running over, and he started crying, and we shared a moment that was the best moment I've ever spent with my dad in my life. And I'm just so thankful and appreciative that we got that opportunity, and that God blessed us with an amazing deer like that. Now, even though we didn't get any footage of me actually shooting the deer, Jaron had a GoPro going that whole entire time, so he was able to capture some footage of us walking up on the deer, and me and my dad and another one of my dad's friends, we were all there to share that moment. And so I'll put a clip of that after I do my outro, but it'll be at the end of the video here so you guys can see that as well. So the deer had gone 75 yards from where I had shot it the night before, and we didn't find any blood. My arrow actually had broke off, and the broadhead stayed inside the deer. I ended up shooting it through the shoulder joint into the lungs and the heart, and the deer, it was dead before it knew what happened. But I was using a 3-bladed Montec fixed blade broadhead, and I think if I was using a mechanical, I don't know if we would have got that deer. I think the moment too of sharing everything with my dad is just all the work that we put into that piece of property that we hunt. I mean, we plant trees every year. We have 3 different food plots specifically designed just to have feed for deer, and it's all the hard work. And to have shot in the biggest buck on that piece of property, all that hard work paying off, and getting to be in the stand with my dad, sharing that moment, I think is what made this deer so special. I mean, I could shoot a 200-inch deer and it still won't mean as much as this deer did to me. I think a lot of people too are gonna say to themselves, I mean, it's a great moment, but it's just a deer, like what makes it that much more special? And besides all the hard work too, just the amount of respect that we have for these deer, they're so tough, and they go through a lot of different things. I mean, hunting season, and then have to make it through the winter, and then predators. And Lightning, he actually had 2 molars missing on the right side from fighting. He was a 19-pointer, but he broke off 1 point from fighting. He had a big hernia on his stomach, and we don't know if that's from getting hit by a car when he was young or what that's about. He also, I'll pop it up in one of the pictures here, but he also had a 20 gauge slug stuck in its neck from somebody that had shot him in a previous season, and he lived through it. So just all the stuff that these deer go through, you gotta have respect for them because they're actually amazing creatures. Lightning scored 160 inches. He was 190 pounds field dressed, and we believe he was only a 3.5-year-old deer. We sent the teeth into a laboratory to be tested and to be aged, so we'll know for sure how old he actually was. But he also was big enough to enter into the non-typical Pope and Young scorebook, so I will be in the record books for non-typical Pope and Young. My dad might be a little upset because I'm quite a few spots ahead of him, but we're both in the Pope and Young scorebooks now, so that's pretty awesome that we're both able to get to be a part of that. So yeah, that is the story of Lightning. I couldn't be more appreciative and just thank God every day for having that opportunity. I remember that night just asking him about 100 different times, like, please God, just help us find this deer. And I'm glad that I was able to share that with family and friends and to share the story with everyone watching here. So without further ado, I'll show that clip, but thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all feathers in the next one.
yeah, it's totally common. Don't feel like you need to be on me. It's sometimes she'll work really fast and I'll just be gone. The next time she'll be really, really slow, and it's, you know, we can all just pretty much be here talking. So sit. Yep. Okay, hey Ada, this is your deer. Track it. Okay, yeah, we'll just let her do some circles and see if she does something. So yep, you can just keep looking for blood behind me. Like I said, she'll zig and zag, and let her loop around.
Can we talk?
Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
Did you see the toilet paper?
I did not see the toilet.
Right by that last tree.
Okay.
Generally, they do like to run up a slow path.
Okay.
That one,
Yeah, once we get on the line, she should just, I call it lining out, and then it should go a lot faster. So okay, I see the toilet paper. Right there.
Oh my God.
I'd come up here, guys.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
We got a deer.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh, dear. Oh my God.
That is a giant, man.
Yeah.
Good girl.
Oh.
Good girl.
Holy. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh, thank you.
Good girl. Good girl, Ada. That's a stud. Good girl.
God, he didn't
Nice job, Cody. You smoked him. You smoked him.
I love when it's easy.
Yeah.
Thanks, dude.
That's a stud. That's cool.
Oh, he didn't go freaking. He didn't go, what, 75 yards? I don't know.
I seen her take that hard
I'm
right.
like,
It's
oh,
like,
she's got it.
No blood.
I didn't see any. No.
Oh my God.
you freaking hard shot.
Yeah, it's a heart shot.
That's what
100%.
I was in my mind thought it was going to be a heart shot, but so he did clip that.
It's just like
going in.
it's just like I said. When you hit them in that shoulder, sometimes you get zero blood. It's just too much tissue to go through.
And the freaking coyotes didn't get him. God, I'm sorry.
You doing it?
You didn't cover that much ground, so you know the coyotes didn't have that much trail to cover.
You know what you just.
Cool. I mean,
Dude, you're gonna start getting a taxidermy like me. Holy shit.
how many points are on that thing?
I don't either. I knew it was like an 8x8, but look at this. Cody,
You smoked them.
we prayed and just. Dude, get your mom, get her ass out, man. Dog, yeah, puppy dog. What's her name?
Ada.
Ada?
Ada, yep.
Ada? Oh, yeah.
Good girl, Ada. Yeah, you
Oh my
liked
God.
it. You found it. Yeah. Yeah.
Dude.
No blood.
I said 50 yards over the hill.
Thank you.
Good girl. Don't chew on it.
Oh my God.
Good girl.
Oh my God.
Yeah, you found it. You're happy too. Oh my goodness. Look at that.
Yeah, he had so many little ones like this, but
I would imagine it didn't go.
where's the arrow? How come we didn't find
We'll
it?
find it now when we know where it's at. But
Yeah, that's the broken. He shattered it. That fixed blade probably saved the day on that one.
yeah, that with the rage, it would have been.
Yep.
If he would have hit it right there, with
Yeah.
the rage, it would have been.
Yeah, well, I like them Montex. It's just, but when you get these newer bows that I started having problems past 50 yards, they started corkscrewing, and I didn't like that. But oh my God, can we? How many points is he? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18.